she told me that you were like hyping her up and all this stuff. I was so salty because I'm like, I spent 15 years with this bitch at home. I was at home fucking stretching, working out, constantly waking up hella early, getting home hella late, traveling all across the country nonstop. You guys were going to my shows all the time, and like not one time.
But
not
you know
one
what?
time where she's just like, yo, I really see you out here.
You
You're
know
doing your
what?
thing.
You know what, though? I think
that's the brother sister shit.
I think
like,
that is also the brother
sister
sister thing, because the first thing I ever do is shit on you, and so do you.
Yeah, I always shit on her too. My bad.
But like, because I think you and I were talking. She mentioned this earlier or some time ago. She's like, y'all can't talk about each other or compliment each other without throwing a backhanded compliment in there. Like, if we gotta talk about like this last video that you made or something, you were doing your test run for this, and I was like, damn, orejas in 4K, man. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And it's all like, yeah, you look great, bro, but look at your ears. So it's like, there's, that's just the way we are. But I will say,
I wouldn't have it any other way though, because I'd be ranking on you even when you're not around.
Absolutely.
I'd be like, yo, that girl, like, what's Marcela doing? Nah, I mean, I don't know. She's probably
earlier.
Like,
I had to tell her earlier today. We were going to get pluckers to pick up pluckers.
Shout out to pluckers.
And shout out to pluckers.
Hey, I want a pluckers.
And when we were picking up pluckers, I have this really bad habit of like, whenever I'm like ordering food or doing something, I accidentally like will send it to the wrong location, and then I'll like send him to pick up the food, and he's like, the order isn't here. So, we get to pluckers.
And then she's like, my bad, it's at this address, and the address is in like the Woodlands or some bullshit.
How you gonna go that bad?
But no, so we were at Pluckers, and they have a thing where like you call them now, and they'll bring the food out to you.
Curbside pickup.
He called and he told them like, oh yeah, it's under Juan, and then they're like, we don't see a Juan here, and immediately I was like, oh my goodness, no, I did it again. And then I was like, oh wait, give him my name, and it was under my name, and they brought it out, and I was like, immediately I assumed that it's my fault because I do that, like I know that I do that, and he goes, see, you got to stop blaming everything on yourself. He's like, if anything, just blame it on Marcela first.
Yeah, I was all like, look, I'll give you a way out. This works every time. Instead of blaming you,
fucking Marcela.
Blame Marcela. Because that's easy. That's easy, and she's not even here to defend herself, so it's all good. Like, so just, it'll help you out. You know?
That's crazy, because this is the thing, though. Like, I think everybody who knows me, like personal friends of mine, know how much I talk about you in good light. Like, everybody's always really baffled by the way that I talk about you, because they're like, that's your brother though. You really like why do you talk about him like that? I'm like, because that's my brother. I'm like, because to me,
we all here. That's
for real. No, because like to me, I noticed all of that about you from the get-go. Like, and it was always something that I admired about you, because to me it was baffling to know how you got so hyper focused and shit. I guess back to the stuff that we were talking about earlier, but a lot of the times to me it was like, damn, Juan be on that shit. Like, Juan is that shit. Like, he out here doing all this stuff. Like, to me, this is like little stars on my eyes every single time I want to go see.
Don't be saying that shit to me. I'm gonna get hype. I'm about to be like, you see me? I'll be like, where your stars at? You look at me, I don't see no stars, bitch. What's wrong with you?
Like, no, for real. Like, I remember, like, I would be very, very just amazed and impressed at all of your performances, all the stuff that you would do, because you would be super chill about it. And I don't think I would ever really internalize the fact that I remember how much hard work you put into it. So I know, because I remember seeing you be late, doing all those things late. And to me, as a younger person, it never dawned on me that was a lot of hard work. So as I was growing older, and as the more I talked about you, I was like, damn, this motherfucker really did the thing, because you were so young and putting in so much effort to get to where you were going. And it left that lasting impression in my mind that if I want to do something good, I have to put in the work for it.
Well, that's good.
And it's great.
But also it brings up a good point about the fact that, like, whenever you see somebody be really good at something, it's very easy to think about that goodness as being talent. And I always have that greatness or whatever it is, the talent, the actual like skill of it as like talent. And I always push back on that a lot whenever people are like, "Oh my God, you're so talented," and I'm always like, "No,
hardworking.
No, I worked my fucking ass off."
Absolutely.
For you to just sit here and be like, oh, this kind of comes naturally to you. Like, no. Like, I push back on that a lot. And whenever I talk to other artists that are like, in the same field or in the same mediums, and they always have like advice and stuff. And I'm always like, there's no such thing as you being you getting somewhere because you're talented. Yeah. You may have a proclivity to understanding certain things in your artistry, in your art form, like you may have like a natural sense of understanding. That's what I call talent. If like you can pick up a brush and understand color theory a little easier than like having to study it. Yeah. But you still need to put in the work.
You got to put in the work. It doesn't matter.
Like hard work will beat talent
all the time.
Single
Every
time. If you are out here thinking that just because you're talented and things came easy for you, and that's how you're gonna get by, you are gonna get stomped on by somebody that spends 8-9 hours,
hard working,
20 hours a week, obsessively concentrated on some bullshit.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Not to say that that's healthy also. That like maybe obsessively thinking about shit may cause some further problems in your life, but in terms of like comparing whether the person that like the hyper talented and the like hyper driven person, hyper driven every time.
Absolutely.
That's Kobe Bryant.
Absolutely.
Hyper driven every time.
Absolutely.
Black mama mentality. Get on it. Like,
absolutely.
That's where it is.
So with that's why whenever all of this is happening, because to me, none of this really ever dawned on me until I had my kid. So given the fact that I had Natalia so young, I had Natalia at 19 years old. So none of it ever dawned on me, because to me, it just never was something that I was really. I don't have anything I'm particularly good at. I would say I would say I have a lot of things that I'm particularly drawn to, that like I'm interested in, that I might want to pursue. But it wasn't until I had Natalia that it started to really dawn on me what hard work was like, what it meant to actually put in the work to get to where I want to go. Because raising a kid is not easy. Like raising a kid means you gotta put in the work. There's no such thing as just having no routine and no set schedule and just magically having your kid wake up on time every morning. Like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. It's as mediocre as that. As like,
and that's also boring.
Yeah. Like if I don't go to sleep at 10 p.m., I'm not waking up at 7 a.m. the next day the way I want to, like for myself with my kid. So it never processed in my mind, and I'm pretty sure it happens to a lot of people. But that's the surefire way to success, is to set yourself a routine, set yourself a goal in mind, and actually start following through with it, like, and doing what you have to do.
Discipline.
Talking to the people you have to talk to, engaging with the people you need to actually get there and show the interest that you need to. With my kid, of course, it's a kid. You got to raise a kid a specific way. But with my kid being on the spectrum, it changed everything.
Yeah, that's wild.
Has she not been like that? I feel like had she been just your typical run-of-the-mill kid, I'm not saying that my kid is not, normal, but had she just been everything developed normally the way it usually does, I don't think I would have even understood that, because her inability to just be normal is the reason why I'm like, but she's trying. Like she's trying her hardest to talk. She's trying her hardest to communicate with you. Even though in her mind, it's not about not wanting to, it's about not being able to.
Sure. So then that's what makes you work hard.
So to me, I was all like, dude, it's not because for me, for the longest time, it was about me not wanting to. So it was a lot about me like, dude, I can and I'm able to do it, but I don't want to, because it's too much work. It's too like I would see your dedication and be like, damn, do I really want to be spending 8 hours in the gym like that? Like, do I really want to spend I don't spend 8
never
hours like that, yeah. But like, do I really? Well, I mean, gymnastics gym. I'm talking about like the gym. But like, do I really want to spend an hour a day stretching? That's a lot of work. Like to me, it would be like, damn, it's too much. But with my kid, I'm like, bro, like my kid wants to do it. It doesn't click just yet, but she's doing it every single day. She goes 2 times a week to do all her therapies and stuff to get there, and I'm like, dude, what the hell am I then? I ain't shit, because I gotta get on it too. So that's how I've began journeying into different aspects that I enjoy, that I've always found interesting that you guys do, and finding myself, I'm like, I can stretch every day for an hour.
Shout out to all the kids on the spectrum over here. Absolutely. Working their little asses off and
for real.
Fucking it up.
Hell yeah. Like, we
see you out here fucking killing it.
Absolutely. So like it's crazy to me how it didn't click like that until now, but it's a great development.
So at least it clicked.
Yeah,
I was thinking. I mean, you're talking about your kid. I remember when mom was when I think I was like 3 or no, I had to be like 4, maybe 5 years old. We would ride the metro
Yeah.
to get like our like shots or whatever,
Yeah.
or like
Ooh,
for me to get like my vaccines and shit to go to school or whatever. And we used to fucking ride the bus, and it would be the fucking worst time in the world for my mom because I
Why?
would be like jumping from seat to
Oh, for
seat,
mom?
and then mom was just like, "Please just sit down, please just sit
Yeah,
down." And
so
I'm just like, "No, but you don't
high-pressed.
understand. Look, I can hang from here, I can hang from here, I can hang like this, I can hang like
Like, what if I
that."
go like
And the
this?
fucking bus driver's like, "Ma'am, you gotta sit your ugly ass,
your
big
kid
eared ass
down,
kid
for real.
down." And I'm like, "What did you just say? What did you just say? I'm about to go jump on him." Like it was
Like, what would
wild.
happen if I run right now when the bus is stopping?
Yo,
Like,
I did that one time. There was one time we were at the metro station. You know how like they over
Yeah.
there on Wayside, there's like the metro station. All the
Yeah,
metros
yeah.
pull up. So we were getting off of one metro, and we had to get on another one to get to go to our place. And I just figured like, man, all these buses look the same. They all go into the same place. Like it's all good. And there was a really long one, like a really like one of those ones that have like the
Yeah,
thing
little
in between, so
connections.
like it makes it longer. And I was like, why can't we go on the big one? And mom was like, that one's not going to where we're going to. And and I was like, bullshit. It's going. They're all going to the same place. That's why they're parked in the same place. So she was walking, and then I just ran into it. It was like all of it's open. It wasn't even going anywhere yet. I just ran in there, and then and I hid in one of the chairs so that the bus driver wouldn't see me. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but then mom started freaking out. She couldn't find me, and and then. I clearly was not subtle at all. So the bus driver saw me in the
Oh my
review
God.
and saw my mom tripping, and he goes, "Ma'am, he's in here." So then she walks in, and she fucking
I can't even imagine.
was fucking in trouble.
I bet.
And the bus driver was like, "Well, but now you guys have to pay for the fare." But we didn't have enough. We only had enough money to go
For
on
one
one
fare,
more
yeah.
bus. So my mom was so pissed off. Or maybe we had the money to go on like separate buses, but we were short. We were like
Yeah.
we were like fucking dry.
Yo, what a shitty ass bus driver. You
so,
didn't even go
so
nowhere.
we had to go on that bus, go all the way through the entire route until we got back to Wayside in order to get on the bus that we needed to get to in order to get back home. But she was so fucking pissed. It was like a 2.5 hour
Hell.
like detour.
Oh my
And she had groceries
Evil
and she had like all this
ass.
stuff. Man, I was in so much trouble that day.
I bet.
It was not a
I
problem.
bet your ass was. Fuck that. Fuck that show. Oh, my
Oh,
God. But
fuck.
you always been like that.
Yeah,
though.
I always did some stupid ass
Unnecessarily
shit.
complicated.
Some unnecessary shit like that. I still do. I'd be like,
Yeah, I know.
let's take a detour and then we'll go through like Bumtown, Mississippi, and like find like fucking
Ain't
like
doing
like
that.
Tennessee. There was one time I drove everybody through or I didn't drive. I navigated everybody through what I thought was a shortcut, and we ended up in like KKK territory
Oh my
and
God.
shit like that. And,
From
and I
the
was just
middle,
like,
way past where Jesus lost his sandals and shit.
My
Like,
bad.
nah,
We
passed
should
a
have stayed on the
dip.
highway because that was probably the better way. My bad. I have a Google phone. It's not even an iPhone. Why y'all listening to me? Like, don't be listening to me, my old Android ass at the time.
Oh my God.